Chapter 29. Satī's Statement. In the celestial assembly where colours of the cosmos merged into a vibrant display of energy, Satī, the daughter of Daksa and the embodiment of supreme virtue, arrived at her father's sacrificial hall. Her presence alone was a sight to behold, adorned in divine radiance, her form resplendent, seated gracefully upon Nandin, the sacred bull. The atmosphere was charged with fervour. Devas, asuras and sages congregated in anticipation of the grand sacrifice, their faces aglow with the ritual's sanctity. Yet, as Satī approached, she noticed a foreboding chill in the air, a subtle indication of disdain veiled beneath the fervent celebrations. Satī dismounted from Nandin at the grand gates of the sacrificial grounds. As she stepped inside, her gaze wandered over the assembly. The halls shimmered with opulent decorations, and the gathered celestial beings exuded divine brilliance. Her heart swelled with the hope of familial affection, but it was soon shattered. Her mother, Asikni, along with her sisters, welcomed her warmly, their gestures filled with respect and love. Yet her father Daksa remained indifferent, his demeanour cold and unyielding. His lack of acknowledgement pierced her heart like a spear. The others, though sympathetic, avoided her gaze, their fear of Daksa's wrath evident. This silent dismissal, orchestrated by the deluding power of Shiva's Maya, deepened Satī's anguish. Her eyes scanned the sacrificial arena, seeking her husband's presence. Her heart sank when she observed that offerings were made to all the deities, Vishnu, Brahma and others, but none were designated for Shiva. The realization struck her like a thunderbolt. How could they ignore Shiva, the eternal essence of all sacrifices? Fury ignited within her soul, transforming her serene visage into one of blazing wrath. With a fiery determination, Satī addressed the assembly, her voice echoing through the halls. How can this sacrifice be deemed complete when Shiva, the soul of the universe, is absent? Is it ignorance or sheer arrogance that has led to this grievous insult? Her words were imbued with the power of truth, compelling all to listen. She continued, her voice rising with righteous indignation. Shiva is not just a deity to be invited or omitted at whim. He is the essence of sacrifice itself, the performer, the offering, and the sanctifier. Without him, every rite is tainted. How dare you, my father, disregard him so? Her gaze turned toward Vishnu and Brahma, her tone now filled with sorrow and disbelief. You, O Vishnu, who once benefited from Shiva's guidance, have you forgotten his greatness? And you, O Brahma, who were humbled by his might, do you now partake in this sacrilege without protest? Her words lashed out like flames, leaving the assembly silent and shamed. Daksa, however, remained unmoved. He sneered at his daughter, his voice dripping with disdain. Satī, you speak as if your husband is a noble figure, yet he is an outcast, a mendicant who roams cremation grounds adorned with ashes. I did not invite him, for he is unworthy of association with the devas and sages. Satī's heart burned with fury and sorrow. She knew she could not return to Shiva after witnessing such an insult. Her voice trembled with anguish as she declared, "To hear my lord insulted so is unbearable. This body, born of your lineage, is now a source of shame to me. I renounce it forever." Closing her eyes, Satī focused her mind on Shiva, the supreme consciousness. She invoked the fire within her soul, burning away her mortal frame. Flames engulfed her as she surrendered her earthly form, her sacrifice illuminating the heavens. The devas and sages watched in stunned silence, their hearts heavy with guilt and fear of the repercussions. Before her final breath, she turned to the assembly one last time. You have mocked Shiva today, but know this: the great Lord's justice is inexorable. Your arrogance will bring about your downfall. Her words hung in the air like an ominous prophecy, reverberating in the minds of all present. As the flames subsided, the hall was filled with an overwhelming silence. Satī's self-immolation was not just an act of defiance, but a testament to her unwavering devotion to Shiva. The cosmos trembled at her sacrifice, and the devas realized the gravity of their actions. Daksa, blinded by his ego, failed to grasp the storm he had unleashed, a storm that would soon bring Shiva's wrath upon him and his sacrificial rite. Thus, Satī's departure marked the beginning of a divine reckoning, one that would remind the universe of Shiva's indomitable power and supreme benevolence.